Hi, this is Gerald Celente. It's Tuesday, September 1st, 2020, and your new Trends Journal, that's not out today. Now we're taking a week off. We need a break. But we're keeping you on top of the news and ahead of the trends with Trends in the News. So we're going to keep you up to date what's going on so that you stay ahead of the trends and you can prepare, prevail, and prosper by subscribing to the Trends Journal, because there is no other magazine like it in the world. So tell your friends that if you don't subscribe, subscribe now. S&P 500 and NASDAQ closed at record highs to start September. Dow jumps more than 200 points. You know what all this is?
Bullshit.
You got it. All it is cheap money being dumped into the market, record low interest rates, the Fed's coming out saying they're going to dump more cheap dough into there, so you know what the story is. And it's going to keep the markets going up for some time, and my forecast is watch out for October. The major averages also got a boost Tuesday from better than expected manufacturing data out of the Institute of Management. The final read on the firm's August manufacturing PMI came at 56, a 19-month high. Again, cheap money, record low interest rates, monetary methadone being drugged into the marketplaces around the world. Job growth expected to slow sharply over the next decade, says the Labor Department. Hey, then why are the markets hitting new highs? Because here's the deal. 88.7% of all the stocks are owned by the 10%, and the 1% owns 51.7% of all the stocks. The little people of Slavelandia working on the plantation, what they own adds up to nothing. So it's just the money junkies. It's one big club, as George Carlin said, and you ain't in it, and that's all they're doing. Yeah. Gold. Well, gold was down a little bit today, but still way up there. Why? Again, we were the first magazine, June 6th, 2019, to call the gold bull run. In the Trends Journal, June, when silver was $17.50 an ounce, we said it was going to spike. It spiked over $10 an ounce. Gold, when we said the gold bull run was $1,332. Why? Dollar under renewed pressure as euro briefly tops 120. Think about it. The euro's getting stronger. Oh, it's a great time over there in Italy. Hey, how about a trip to Spain? Hey, what about France? Oh, yeah, but the German economy is going up. Yeah, it's going up. You know what? They were almost in a recession in 2019. Yes, it's going up, but why would the euro go up when they're dumping in all of this cheap dough? The reason is it's all
bullshit.
You got it. Gold, silver still seem going up because U.S. economy needs $1 trillion in fresh coronavirus stimulus, says world's biggest hedge fund. That's Bridgewater Associates. They said they need between $1.3 trillion and $1.7 trillion to sustain the recovery. This is sustaining nothing. All it is, and they're doing this in country after country, dumping money into the people that aren't working to artificially keep propping up the economies. What's going to bring it back? What's going to bring it back? The vaccination. Yeah, and you know what that is.
Bullshit.
Fed loses some bite after shift. This is they're saying, we don't care about inflation. We'll let it go anywhere. We got to watch unemployment. We're doing this for the people. And that's a lot of bullshit. They're doing it for the banksters. That's who they did it for under Bush, under Obama, and underground. That's all it is. Hey, remember Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, driving the money changers out of the temple, right? Nothing's changed. Whew. Cat was dead 3 days later. You better watch out. Don't go after the banksters. Here we go. The Fed is operating at the margins. That needs to be recognized. Why, who would say something like that? If it's not recognized, there's a risk people are overinvested in what the Fed can do. You know who said that? That guy, Dud Lee. Dud Lee. Yeah, a real dud. He was the head of the New York Federal Reserve Bank. This guy's saying, one after another, they're overstretched. Oh, you need another? I say another 7.17 trillion. Oh, I say 1.3 trillion. Well, I say 1.85 trillion. They're making this crap up because they're crapsters. And here's the important thing about today's trends in the news. China's economy bouncing back. Gains on the U.S. Across China, restaurants and gyms are busy. Subway cars and airports, departure lounges are packed. Children are preparing to return to classrooms with few restrictions. In some schools, children are being asked to bring masks, but they don't have to wear them. Goes on and on. Their currency, yuan, rises as fears of tariffs recede. The clear outperformance by the Chinese economy versus the developed economies is favoring the yuan, said Mansoor Muhyiddin, chief economist at the Bank of Singapore. One fact after another. One piece of data after another. China's doing better than most other countries. How China is preparing its economy for a future where the U.S. isn't the center of global demand. In a world rocked by the coronavirus pandemic, the tensions with the U.S. and Chinese government is stepping up, focus on the domestic market with the pronouncement, you ready for this, of dual circulation policy. Increased public discussion in the last few weeks has helped crystallize some of the implications for global trade. In other words, they're not depending so much on global trade, they're becoming a self-sustaining economy. This dual circulation, keeping the money in the Chinese economy. China has a twist on reshoring. Foreign brands need to retool as countries' consumers spend at home. People in China have started to travel again, though almost all within the country. On and on, tells you how much travel is going up, how much the stocks, the hospitality sector is going up. The people are spending their money there as the United States goes down. A private survey shows China's manufacturing sector expanded in August at the fastest pace in nearly a decade. All right. What's this about? The virus. Where did it break out? The Yunnan province. Who ever heard of a Yunnan province? Not a me, not a you. Nobody heard of it. Nobody heard of it until, you ready? Happy Lunar Chinese New Year. Happy New Year. The virus is here. The virus is here. Hey, remember all that coverage? Check out the cover of your Trends Journal, January 28th, right after it broke out. Coronavirus, 106 dead in China. Yeah. 1.4 billion still alive. 106 people dead in China. What the hell are you telling me this for? Over a couple of weeks? People are dying of air pollution. So that's why they made the masks. Because the air is so filthy. 1.5 million died of air pollution-related diseases last year. But we're going to shut down that Yunnan province. And we're going to build those hospitals. Remember showing? They did it in a week. They did it in a week. Showing you all the fear started spreading. And then what happened? Well, they started locking down one city after another. Hong Kong. That's right. They could not stop the protests in Hong Kong. I'm just giving you a tiny bit of what's going on in China with economic news. It's happy days are here again back there. People aren't worried about this thing. And the death rate's under 6,000. Yeah, but they're lying. Okay, they're lying. Let's make it 600,000, all right? At 1.4 billion. It ain't locked down, but they locked down Hong Kong. And then they passed that security law. And now what are they doing? Hong Kong authorities arrest opposition legislators in further crackdown. It's over. Look at your Trends Journal. We have been covering Hong Kong since last June when the riots broke out. Here, just check the stories out. One after another, after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. We know what was going on. Oh, by the way, I was also on Hong Kong TV. Oh, no, we're not going to stop. You know, I'm talking to different people. They stopped. It's over. It's over. It's out of the news. Oh, we're going to put sanctions on them. They could care less. Here's the deal. The business of America has been war. And that's why I launched Occupy Peace. You don't hear anybody talking about cutting the defense budget. Hey, how about that Afghan war? Huh? Longest-sworn American history. What's a war? What's an Afghan war? How about that Iraq war? Oh, Trump's going to bring home the troops. Not China. The business of China is business. And China's taken over the world. Get this in your head, everybody. You look at the chart before Slick Willie, Slime Slick Willie Clinton, and then Bush brought China into the World Trade Organization. The GDP was like this. 2001, bop. 2000, they had about 5% of their population was middle class. Today, over 35%. If things don't change in countries where they don't do what China's doing now, their economies are going to go down big time because the Chinese aren't going to need anybody. What does America have? About 2/3 of our GDP consumer-based? Yeah, try about 75, 80% of theirs. And they're making their own stuff. We're buying it from them. That's the future. This is very important, and that's why I wanted to focus on this. And again, subscribe to the Trends Journal. Tell your friends. We're keeping the truth alive. There's no magazine like it in the world, and we need your help to do it. The more we have, the more we can do. And moving on. As virus clobbers tourism, millions lose a lifeline. This is about Cancun in Mexico, and going on and on. Keep going on and on. Go to every little village. Go to the Caribbean. Who's going to be traveling? Oh, yeah, but those stocks are going up. Yeah, you know why? Because...
Bullshit.
That's right. Tourist numbers to Spain slump by 3/4 in July. Oh, yeah, but that euro's getting stronger. Do you realize the people this is hitting? Airport shopping drops amid travel slump. What airport shopping? Hardly anything going on. Airport share that dependence globally, talking about retail. Retail sales brought in $78 billion for the world's airports in 2018. That's the last that they wrote about, that when they did that data. And traffic at its once teeming terminals, talking about Heathrow, is down to a trickle, and this is global. Brazil's economy contracted by a record 9.7%. It's one after another. India's economy shrinks at record pace. It'll come back. It'll come back. And I want to read you something. Again, that's what I do. I outline the salient points of stories. So India's economy shrinks at record pace. So here's a paragraph that I found very important. This is from the Wall Street Journal. India's lockdown, beginning in late March, was among the strictest in the world, shutting virtually every non-essential part of the economy. Yet it managed to only delay the virus's spread, which continues to crush economic activity. The lockdowns aren't working. No one talks about it. Hey, Governor Cuomo locked down New York and he got a big book deal. Oh, and he was a keynote speaker at the Democratic National Convention. What a great job I did. Oh yeah, how many people died in New York of the virus? Let's see. 33,000. How many died in India? 66,000. Oh yeah, twice as bad as New York. Wait a minute. They got 1.3 billion people. New York only has 19.5 million. 1.3 billion, 19.5 million. The lockdowns aren't working. And even Cuomo said that, oh, you don't understand. More people are going to the hospital that were staying at home than were going to work. That's when the virus was hitting. And what else do we have here? Layoffs resume as firms reassess outlook. Here. Fear in Europe as virus spikes in Spain again. Spain was already one of the hardest hit countries in Europe and now has some 440,000 cases and more than 29,000 deaths. 46.7 million people, 29,000 deaths, compared to New York, 19.5 million and 33,000 deaths. But nobody talks about that. And now, moving on to Australia. This is from Friday, or from Saturday. Victoria's death toll shows little signs of slowing, with 12 more fatalities on Friday. They were a man in his 70s, 2 women and 1 man in their 80s, and 5 women and 3 men in their 90s. All were linked to outbreaks in the state's aged care homes. That's who's dying. The facts are there. Again, we went over it and over it and over it. And now, of course, you know, and we'll write more about this, CDC says 94% of all Americans who have died of COVID-19 had at least one other underlying disease. Actually, on average, people who died of coronavirus had 2.6 additional underlying health conditions. So we're not saying that they didn't die of the virus, but they had these other serious underlying health conditions, so when you got the virus, it brought you down. Like obesity, and boy, you don't need a lot to bring that down because that's really top-heavy. And type 2 diabetes. Again, you got them right here. All the facts, but they keep selling fear. Remember the Trump acceptance speech in the White House? This was from the Toilet Paper Record, Saturday, August 29th. More than 1,500, most not wearing masks, attended President Trump's acceptance speech at the White House on Thursday night. It was a big thing. They didn't wear masks. How many died? Oh, you got the virus. When you get the virus, there's hardly any symptoms for most people. Was the recovery rate's like 99.5%? I had the rally over here on July 4th. Oh, you know the one that they all went after me for? Oh, yeah, remember this headline in the paper, the local paper? Oh, virus going to spike. No, virus cases went down. And now I'll admit, I did this broadcast on July 3rd. Now I'm dead. I died right after I had the rally on July 4th with Judge Napolitano there and others. They're all fiction. We don't exist at all. We all died from the virus, from not wearing masks, over 250 people. All gone. Again, the people that are dying are going to die as something. because they're not healthy, and there's not one word by the prostitutes about whole health healing and building your immune system. Oh, and by the way, the first book I worked on was Natural Healing, and I have an honorary doctorate from the National University of Health Sciences. But we'll just stay with the fear. And then finally, Trump bets on law and order to swing voters. Here's my forecast. Here's my forecast. Subscribe to the Trends Journal and we'll tell you what it is. I'm only kidding. I'm not going to give it yet. You know why? The debates. Debates. This is going to be the presidential reality show of all times. Everyone's going to tune in this thing. Goofy against the Donald. Will Goofy be able to make it through without goofing up how many times? So it really depends on Goofy. And the Donald, he's in a losing situation right now. The debates are going to make the change, just like when I was a youth. The Kennedy-Nixon debate made the difference. This is Gerald Celente. That's some of today's Trends in the News. And please, subscribe to the Trends Journal. Renew your subscription. Tell your friends. My mission as a warrior for the Prince of Peace is to unite for peace and restore freedom. And we have to unite to do that. They're having rallies and protests all over the world, Germany, UK, France, against the robbing of freedom, but not here in America. The protests here are violent, and they're going to get worse unless we change the direction toward liberty, love, joy, and beauty. Thank you. The COVID-19 war has changed the world, but who's prepared? What's next? It's in your Trends Journal. Trends Journal subscribers are prepared. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens. From the world leader in trend forecasting.